Welcome to Helping Hands.
How did the organization start?
We did our first placement in 1979. It started as a research project to see if a monkey could be trained to help somebody with a spinal cord injury. It was founded by two people, a woman named M.J. Willard and another woman named Judy Zazula, and they were working in occupational therapy with spinal cord injury patients. Well, we knew we couldn't train baby monkeys, so we needed to have volunteer foster families that would raise the monkeys until they were mature enough for training. We will be doing our 150th placement beginning on Monday. We try to do anywhere from 8 to 12 new placements every year, and then we support another 40 monkeys that are actively working out in the country every year.
What does the monkeys eat?
They mostly eat what is called monkey chow. We get it from a factory. They also get oatmeal, servings of vegetables, servings of fruit. They also get peanut butter for training, walnuts.
Are they messy, and how do you keep them clean?
They're like any other animal. We bathe them about once a week. For monkeys that really enjoy their baths, we'll bathe them a couple times.
How smart are the monkeys?
They're pretty smart. They're the smartest monkey, probably that of like 3 or 4-year-old, I think it is.
What happens if the monkeys get sick?
We will call a vet, and either they'll be seen by the vet or we can give them medicine here.
It can take about 2 to 4 years to train a monkey, depending on how many different tasks they learn.
How old they are with you places?
That depends on the monkey because they come in for training at different ages. They're all adults when they're placed, and so they're usually in their teenage years. To train the monkeys, we use a lot of positive reinforcement, so we tell them what a great job they're doing, and we use a lot of affection, hugs and kisses, and then we use healthy treats to help them learn what they've done well, so peanut butter, walnuts, things like that.
This is a laser pointer, so that just helps show to manipulate which object. So for example, one of these light switches, instead of saying like flip the one on the left versus the one on the right, it's helpful just to indicate which object to manipulate. Also especially for like fetching, or so they don't have less task words that they have to learn. Do mouth, right here. Good girl. Open. Atta girl. Can you fetch? Can you fetch? Fetch me the object, please. Right here, in my hand. Fetch. Mike's fetch. Atta girl, push. Put it in there for me. Good job. Can you open? Atta girl. Open. Good job. Can you do straw? Straw. Oh, can you fetch that? In there. Atta girl, push. Push. Good job. Mikey, fetch. Atta girl. Right here. Good job. Flip. Good job, Mikey.
So this is our cubicle. We call it our cubicle because it's small. It's where the monkeys first start their training. It's soundproofed. There's no windows. There's no shelving. It's limiting all of the distractions for the monkeys. So this is called our B room. And this is the next room that the monkeys move to after they've learned their tasks in the cubicle. You can see this room is starting to look a little more like a home environment. There's a wheelchair introduced, there's a shelf, and most importantly, things are left out instead of being put away in cabinets. But on the other hand, we still do have some toys in here. So if it's too much for a monkey to work with a remote right now when they first come in because they want to push every single button on it, we can work with some toys for a while until they've calmed down and explored everything in the room and can start using more real life equipment. So when a monkey does something that we want them to, we say good boy or good girl and ring the bell, and then they get a little treat, little peanut butter smear. And then over time in this room, we start phasing out the bell, not using the bell as much to reward them, but instead just using that good boy, good girl. Just like people, monkeys are extremely unique individuals. So they have a wide range of motivation. Some of them aren't as motivated to learn. Some of them are, want to learn everything possible. Some of them are valedictorians. Some of them are not so into learning things. So what we do is we place those monkeys with people that might need less tasks. So now we're in our A room. This is where the monkeys move after they've finished the cubicle in the B room. Then they start training in both the apartment and the A room. And this room is set up to look like a person's home. So you'll notice there's a lot of just stuff around. There's candles, there's Kleenex, there's just things that would be in a real life home. And the monkeys at this point have learned, they're very mature, they're very focused on their studies, and they're very bonded with their trainer. So most of the time they just want to sit around here and cuddle. You want your monkey to be picked for a placement. We're all very proud when it's our monkey that's going, but that moment when you have to put them in the carrier and say goodbye is just overwhelming. And it obviously depends on how long you've worked with that particular monkey. I have one leaving on Monday who I've worked with for years, and I've been crying all week. It's just a mess. But so I would not go on her placement, because then she would not be able to, we pick the recipient according to that monkey's favorite kind of person. Whether it's a man or a woman, a soft-spoken person versus an outspoken person, a dominant individual versus a more gentle individual. Everything's lined up with that monkey's preferences. And so if I went on the placement, it wouldn't allow her to start this bond with this perfect individual we picked for her. So I stay here, and it would be too hard on me too. So for my sanity and Candy's sanity, I will stay here and she'll go.
Sit. You push. Good girl.
What's the hardest task to train a monkey to do?
The hardest task is probably itching someone's face. They use a soft cloth to itch someone's face, and it's difficult because they have to apply a certain amount of pressure to do that, and that's hard to train the monkeys to do, and also to keep itching until we let them know that it's time to stop.
What are some of the challenges working with the monkeys?
One of the challenges is, trying to change the way that you teach a task depending on each monkey, because all the monkeys are different. They have all different personalities, and so the way that one monkey learns might be different from another monkey, and so it might be more difficult to train a particular monkey on a particular task in the same way that you trained it before. So coming up with new ideas and new ways of training the monkeys is a challenge.
We train capuchin monkeys to be service animals, monkey helpers, in homes with people who have suffered from spinal cord injury, different kinds of paralysis. Sometimes they have MS, muscular dystrophy, different kinds of reasons that have caused them to be paralyzed.
What is the oldest monkey that you ever had here?
That would probably be Becky. She's one of our oldest. They live until they're about 40, and she's probably in her mid to late 20s or early 30s. I'm actually not sure how old she is.
What does it feel like to work with monkeys?
It's unlike anything else. When I was a trainer, I used to say, my monkeys surprised me every single day, because I thought I knew all kinds of things about animals since I grew up with dogs and cats. But monkeys are so smart, and they're just so interesting that it's really not comparable to anything else. They're amazing.
What's the best part of your job?
Probably no matter how bad of a day I'm having, I can go downstairs and get a hug from a monkey.